Each one of us is born with a spark, a possibility, a unique fragrance that no other being carries. But somewhere along the way, when storms come, when challenges appear, when the path is not clear, we abandon the journey. We quit. Why? Because the mind loves comfort more than growth. It fears failure more than it longs for flight. Understand this: quitting is not a mistake. It is simply a signal. It is life asking, are you truly committed to discovering who you are? You see, a bird doesn't learn to fly because it reads a book on flying. It jumps, it falls, it tries again. Again and again until the sky becomes its home. The same applies to you. Your talents, your inner capabilities, they are not meant to be daydreams. They are life's investment in you. You have no right to waste them. Talent without commitment is like seeds left in a dusty jar. Potential means nothing unless you are willing to pour yourself into it, break yourself open, and rise again. So how to stop quitting? First, know that it is not about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. What you need is devotion. Devotion not to a god or a guru, but to the possibility of who you can become. Second, drop the idea that the path must be easy. It is because the mountains is high that the view is spectacular. Third, trust the process. Even when you cannot see the fruits, the roots are growing. If you can stay with your talent like a mother stays with her child through pain, through joy, through sleepless nights, then life will open doors you did not even know existed. Rise above the noise. Rise above the mind's games. And offer your talents to the world. Not because you seek reward, but because you recognize the miracle of simply being alive. Not every being that comes into existence is not just a random occurrence. Life does not create anything meaningless. In every seed, there is a tree hidden. In every human being, there is an entire universe of possibility waiting to unfold. When you were born, you did not come empty. You came packed with certain colors, certain notes, certain flavors that only you can express. Your way of seeing, your way of speaking, your way of touching life, no one else can replicate it. It is as if existence for one brief moment decided to experience itself through your eyes. But as you grow, society begins its work. You are told who you should be, what you should want, how you should live. Layer by layer, the raw liveness that you came with gets covered. Your natural talents, which once tried to shine through you without effort, become buried under the need to fit in, to be approved of, to succeed in ways that have been defined by others. Yet, even if it is hidden, even if it is forgotten, that original spark does not die. It waits. Patiently. Sometimes it comes as a longing you cannot explain. Sometimes as a frustration you cannot silence. It knocks on the door of your consciousness again and again, asking to be remembered. Recognizing that you are born with a unique essence is not arrogance. It is humility of the highest form to bow down to the life within you and say, I see you. I am willing. Most people look outside for their path, copying, comparing, competing. But your true path is already placed within you like a blueprint. Your talents are not goals to chase. They are gifts to be uncovered, nurtured, and offered. To realize this is to move differently through the world. Not anxiously, not desperately, but gracefully as one who knows they are carrying something sacred within them. When you recognize this, quitting becomes irrelevant. You do not abandon a treasure because the digging is hard. You dig deeper. When you feel the urge to quit, it is not a moral weakness. It is simply life placing a mirror before you, asking, how much does this truly matter to you? Most people misunderstand quitting. They see it as failure, shame, something to hide. But if you observe carefully, quitting is a moment of tremendous possibility. It is a crossroad where you are given a chance to deepen your commitment or to walk away. The choice is always yours, but make no mistake, life does not hand over its treasures easily. Anything that is beautiful, anything that is worthwhile, demands something from you. It demands your energy, your focus, your patience, your willingness to fall and stand up again. If you quit simply because something is hard, it is not the task you are abandoning, it is yourself. It is your own growth you are turning away from. Most often people quit because their mind convinces them that discomfort is a sign of failure. But discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is the friction that polishes you. Discomfort is life sharpening your edges, preparing you to hold greater possibilities. In those moments when you feel like quitting, sit quietly and look within. Are you quitting because your inner voice tells you this is not for you? Or are you quitting because you are unwilling to endure the temporary hardship on the way to something magnificent? If you can learn to see the impulse to quit not as a command, but as a question, you will become free. You will quit what needs to be quit, old habits, false ideas, borrowed dreams, and you will stay steady in what truly belongs to you. The mind is noisy. It says, this is too much. This is not working. Maybe I'm not good enough. But the deeper voice, the voice of life itself, whispers differently. Stay. Trust. Grow. When you can hear that quieter voice and follow it, you rise above the patterns that have kept you small for too long. You become available to the greatness that is already seated within you. The mind is not interested in your growth. It is only interested in your survival. Growth demands that you step into the unknown, but survival clings to the familiar. Comfort becomes its drug, and anything that threatens that comfort, even if it is a doorway to your highest possibilities, is resisted. When you choose growth, you are choosing to leave behind the safety of what you know. The mind, which is designed to protect what is, begins to panic. It throws up doubts, fears, excuses. It will tell you stories. Maybe you are not ready. Maybe you are not meant for this. Maybe it's better to stay where you are. If you believe these stories, you shrink. Not because life demanded it, but because the mind demanded comfort. Comfort zones are not bad. They are resting places. But if you turn them into homes, you miss the adventure of being alive. You settle for a small life, not because life gave you small possibilities, but because the mind clung to what was easy, what was safe. The great tragedy is that most people live and die without ever knowing the vastness they carried within them. Not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked opportunities, but because they mistook discomfort for danger. The real danger is not stepping out of your comfort. The real danger is living the same year again and again and calling it a life. You must understand, every time you are uncomfortable, it is a sign that something is stirring inside you. Something new, something alive, something that wants to grow. Instead of pulling back, if you can learn to stay present, to stay awake, you will find that what felt terrifying is actually thrilling. What felt unbearable is shaping you into someone unrecognizable, someone greater. Growth is not an accident, it is a conscious choice. Again and again, you must choose it, even when your mind screams for comfort. Especially then, when you stop seeing difficulty as an enemy, when you see it as the heat that forges gold, you will not run anymore. You will stand steady in the fire of transformation. Your talents are not ornaments to decorate your ego. They are not possessions to show off when convenient. They are sacred tools given to you by life itself, and with them comes a quiet responsibility. When you see your talents as your own, you will use them carelessly or you will hide them out of fear. But when you recognize that you are merely a custodian of something far greater, you will naturally feel a deep sense of reverence. It is not about being special. It is about being true. It is about honoring the gift by offering it fully, without withholding, without doubt, and without constantly asking, what will I get in return? When a flower blooms, it does not demand applause. It does not negotiate with the bees. It simply opens because that is its nature. In the same way, your talents are meant to flow into the world because it is your nature to create, to express, to contribute. But what do most people do? They wait. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for validation. They wait for certainty that they will succeed. And in all this waiting, they betray the very life that entrusted them with their abilities. Understand, this life does not waste its gifts. If you do not use what you have been given, life will take it back. Not as punishment, but simply because unused energies become stagnant, and stagnation is against the very nature of existence. Every time you doubt yourself and hold back, a little light within you dims. Every time you step forward in trust, that light grows brighter. It is not about grand achievements. It is about simple sincerity to use whatever you have, wherever you are, as fully as you can. If you treat your talents casually, if you think you have forever, you are mistaken. This moment is all you have. This life is all you have. What you do with it is not just your right, it is your responsibility. To honor your talents is to honor the very breath you are breathing right now. It is to recognize that life chose you as a vessel for something beautiful, something powerful, something that can only happen through you. When you see it this way, you will not need motivation. You will not need to be pushed. You will become a willing offering to life itself. Discipline is often misunderstood. People think it is a harsh word, a restriction, a burden. But true discipline is not chains around your feet. It is wings on your back. Without discipline, your energies remain scattered. Your mind pulls you in 1,000 directions. One day you are full of inspiration. The next you are drowning in doubt. One moment you commit. The next you withdraw. Without discipline, you become a slave to your moods. But discipline is the art of making your commitment stronger than your mood. It is the silent power to do what is needed, even when the mind protests, even when the body resists, even when the world distracts. A river that flows everywhere becomes a swamp. Only when its waters are channeled does it gain the force to carve valleys, to shape landscapes, to bring life wherever it moves. In the same way, when your energies are gathered, when your focus becomes unwavering, you become capable of shaping your own destiny. The world around you is full of noise, temptations, endless ways to waste your life. If you do not take charge of your own body, your own mind, your own emotions, they will be taken charge of by something else. Then you are no longer living, you are being lived. Discipline is not about controlling yourself with violence. It is about creating a loving order within you. It is an act of devotion. It is saying to yourself, what is precious in me deserves protection, deserves nurturing, deserves my full attention. Without discipline, your talents dry up, not because they are not real, but because they are not fed, not watered, not given the daily care they require to bloom. When you make discipline your friend, it stops being a struggle. It becomes a joyful rhythm, like the sun that rises every day without fail, like the tree that stands rooted through storm and sunshine alike. You too become steady. And in that steadiness, great beauty arises. Your talents find their true shape. Your potential stops being a dream and becomes a living reality. Comparison is a disease that has quietly infected almost every human mind. Without even realizing, people measure themselves against others, their success, their failures, their talents, their timelines. And in doing so, they forget the simple miracle of being alive in their own unique way. When you compare yourself to another, you are trying to live someone else's life. You are trying to wear clothes that were never stitched for you, walk paths that were never meant for your feet. No two beings are the same. Not in nature, not in life. Even the leaves of a single tree are all different. Yet the human mind, trapped in its illusions, constantly looks sideways instead of looking inward. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your peace, your authenticity. You may have started your journey with great passion, but the moment you see someone else moving faster or shining brighter, doubt creeps in. Suddenly your own growth feels small, your own efforts seem insignificant. But life is not a race. Life is not a competition. Life is a flowering. Some flowers bloom at dawn, some bloom at dusk. The rose does not envy the lotus, the oak tree does not resent the willow. Each grows according to its own nature, its own rhythm. When you stop looking outward and start nurturing what is within, you will find a peace that no achievement can bring. Your focus will no longer be scattered by what others are doing. You will become rooted in your own becoming. Your talents are not meant to look like anyone else's. They are not meant to be weighed or measured against another. They are meant to be expressed fully, fearlessly, beautifully, just as they are. The only real competition you have is with who you were yesterday. Have you grown even a little? Have you deepened your understanding, sharpened your craft, expanded your heart? If so, you are succeeding in the only way that matters. When you live this way, free of comparison, you move lightly through the world. Your journey becomes effortless, your progress inevitable. You are no longer driven by insecurity or jealousy. You are moved only by the deep joy of unfolding into the highest version of yourself. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is simply a signal, a trembling within you that says you are standing at the edge of something unfamiliar. It is not there to stop you. It is there to alert you life is about to change. But most people misunderstand fear. They believe that if they feel fear, it must mean danger. They believe that fear is a reason to turn back, to shrink, to quit. They never realize that fear often appears right before a breakthrough. Fear is not a wall, it is a doorway. Only those willing to walk through it ever taste the sweetness of their own potential. When you meet fear, you have two choices. You can bow to it or you can bow to life. If you bow to fear, you stay small. You stay confined within the tight little circle of what you already know. But if you bow to life, you recognize that everything you have ever longed for lies just beyond that trembling. You do not have to destroy fear. You do not have to pretend to be fearless. That is just another form of arrogance. Real courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to move even when fear is present. Look closely. Every great thing you have ever done in your life, you did not do because you were without fear. You did it because something within you was more important than fear. A longing, a calling, a silent knowing. If you wait for fear to disappear before you act, you will wait your whole life. Fear is part of the journey. It is part of stepping into the unknown, part of becoming who you are meant to be. You must learn to carry your fear like you would carry a small child, not allowing it to steer you, not allowing it to silence you, but acknowledging its presence, understanding its voice, and moving forward anyway. Each time you act in spite of fear, you grow a little larger inside. Your world becomes a little wider. Your spirit becomes a little stronger. And soon you will see fear was never the obstacle. Fear was the invitation to rise beyond your limitations, to walk boldly into the life that has been waiting for you all along. Commitment is the bedrock of everything you will ever create in this life. It is not a single decision made in a moment of inspiration or excitement. It is a quiet, unshakable devotion to the path, even when the excitement fades and the road becomes steep. Most people, when faced with the first sign of difficulty, pull back. They question themselves, they doubt the worth of their dreams. But true commitment is not born from certainty. It is born from a deeper place, the place where you understand that no matter the circumstances, your promise to yourself remains. It is easy to commit when the path is clear and the sun is shining. Anyone can take the first few steps when everything seems easy. But what happens when the clouds gather, when you are lost in the fog of uncertainty, when the winds of failure blow against you? That is where your commitment is tested. And this is where most people falter. They see obstacles, and instead of using them as stepping stones, they see them as signs to stop. But if you truly wish to honor the talents within you, if you truly wish to see your potential flower, you must understand one thing. Commitment is not about avoiding the storm. It is about standing strong in the midst of it. When you commit to your talent, you commit to a process. You commit to the long journey that often takes years before it bears fruit. You commit to the discomfort of growth, to the vulnerability to learning, to the discipline of practice, even when results seem distant. Too many are enamored by the idea of instant success, instant recognition. But the truly great know that the seed must first push through the soil, then struggle to stretch toward the sunlight. It is a slow process, often unseen by the world, but the growth is real. And if you stay committed, the roots become stronger with each passing day. Commitment is also about showing up for yourself even when no one is watching. Even when you feel discouraged or alone, the true commitment is to keep going, not because others expect it, but because you have chosen to honor the seed of greatness inside you. This is not a promise made to anyone else. It is a promise made to the highest potential of your own being. And when you commit in this way wholeheartedly, relentlessly, without turning back, life has no choice but to respond. Opportunities begin to appear where there once seemed to be none. The right people come into your life and the resources you need seem to materialize out of nowhere. This is not magic. This is the power of commitment. When you dedicate yourself fully to something, the universe itself begins to align in your favor. Commitment also means you stop playing games with yourself. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you realize that the perfect moment is now. It is today. It is this very moment that you are alive, that you can act, that you can choose to begin again. Many will try to talk you out of your commitment. The world will throw distractions, doubts, and fears in your path. But remember this, the path is not about how many times you fall, but how many times you rise. Each time you return to your commitment, even after failure, you grow. Each time you pick yourself up, you become stronger. Commitment is not about success in the worldly sense. It is about the inner transformation that occurs when you dedicate yourself to a purpose larger than your fleeting fears or desires. It is about the honor of staying true to the vision life has placed in you, even when the world cannot yet see it. When you truly commit, you move with a purpose that goes beyond any single goal. Your work, your efforts, your growth become expressions of a deeper force, something larger than yourself. And that is when your talents are truly unleashed. So commit to your talent, commit to your growth, and commit to your journey, not because you expect instant results, but because you understand the profound power of honoring your own potential. It is this commitment that will shape you into who you were always meant to be. When you start to share your work, your talents, your gifts with the world, something powerful happens. It is not just the act of sharing that matters, but the attitude with which you share. If you approach your talents with the mindset of I am giving to the world, then you are missing the essence of what it truly means to create and share. You are not simply offering something for external validation or reward. When you give from your heart, you offer something that is an extension of yourself, something that flows from the deepest part of you. You are not simply presenting a product, an idea, or a creation. You are offering a piece of your soul, a manifestation of the energy and love you have poured into it. The mistake many people make when they begin to share their gifts is that they expect something in return. They expect recognition, approval, or success. And when those things don't come right away, they feel rejected, discouraged, or defeated. But the moment you attach expectations to your work, you are no longer offering it freely. You are bartering with life. True giving has no strings attached. When you offer your work, whether it is art, knowledge, love, or kindness, you do so because you understand that life itself has given you the opportunity to create. The world doesn't owe you anything in return. You owe it to yourself to give fully, to give without fear, without hesitation, without attachment. And here's the secret: the more you give in this way, the more life has to offer you. It's not a transactional exchange. It's an energetic flow. When you give without expecting, life itself begins to give you more opportunities, more resources, more connections, more inspiration. Not as a reward for what you've done, but as an acknowledgement of your willingness to give freely. The world does not need another product. The world needs the unique energy that only you can provide. Your talent is a reflection of your own inner nature, your perspective, your way of seeing the world. When you offer this freely, you create a ripple of energy that touches others in ways you may never even understand. Sometimes the world may not respond the way you expect. Your work may not be immediately recognized. Your impact may not be immediately felt. But remember, true value is not always measured by immediate results. The impact of your work may take time to manifest, and the seed you plant today may grow into something beautiful tomorrow or next year or in a decade. Do not get caught in the trap of measuring your worth based on external validation. Your worth is inherent in the act of creation itself. It is not something that can be counted in likes, shares, or accolades. It is the joy and fulfillment you feel when you are immersed in the process of creation, when you are connected to the flow of life that moves through you. When you approach the act of sharing your work with this mindset, a mindset rooted in love, devotion, and freedom, your contributions will become timeless. They will resonate with others in ways that are far beyond your understanding. And you will realize that true fulfillment does not come from what you get, but from what you give. So share not because you want to be recognized, but because you recognize the miracle of being alive, of having something to offer, of having talents that are uniquely yours to express. In this way, your work becomes an offering, a prayer, a celebration of the gift of life itself. And through this offering, you not only transform the world, you transform yourself. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to embrace the truth of your own potential, to step into the fullness of who you are, without fear, without hesitation, without looking for permission. Most people spend their lives holding themselves back, hiding in the shadows of their own self-doubt, believing that they are not enough or that the world does not need what they have to offer. But the truth is that the world needs you exactly as you are, with all your quirks, your unique perspectives, your talents, just as you are meant to be. Every person is born with the spark of greatness within them. It is not something you need to seek, something that exists outside of you. It is already here in the very core of your being. Your talents, your gifts, your unique way of seeing the world, these are not accidents. They are part of your blueprint, part of the map that life has laid out for you to walk. But you must be willing to trust this blueprint, to step into it with courage, with faith. To stop quitting and to start using your talents is to let go of the constant need for external validation, to stop doubting the value of your contributions, and to embrace the very essence of who you are. It means learning to trust yourself, to recognize that the only person who can stop you is you. Every time you doubt your potential, you are closing the door to a possibility that could change everything. But every time you choose to step forward, to take action despite your fear, despite your uncertainty, you open a new door, one that leads to growth, to freedom, to the limitless horizon of what is possible. We are not meant to play small. We are not meant to hide our gifts. We are meant to rise, to evolve, to expand in the highest expression of ourselves. And the only thing standing between you and that higher version of yourself is your willingness to commit, to trust, to act. The world is waiting for you to show up, waiting for the unique light that only you can shine. It is not waiting for perfection, for flawless execution, for some arbitrary point in time when you feel ready. It is waiting for you to simply begin, to offer what you have with an open heart, to give from the fullness of who you are. There will be moments when the path seems unclear, when the road ahead feels uncertain, when you question whether you are capable of achieving what you want. But in those moments, remember, your potential is not defined by the doubts that arise in your mind. It is defined by the strength of your commitment, the depth of your belief in yourself, and the courage to keep moving forward despite the fears that rise. The truth is that you are capable of far more than you can imagine. The world is full of people who gave up too soon, who stopped just before their breakthrough. They let fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt stop them from stepping into their true potential. But you have a choice. You can choose to continue. You can choose to trust that your talents, your gifts, your dreams are not random. They are part of your purpose, and it is your responsibility to nurture them, to develop them, offer them to the world in the unique way that only you can. Your talents will not serve you if you keep them hidden away. The world needs what you have to offer, not tomorrow, but today. There is no better time to begin than now, because the longer you wait, the more opportunities pass you by. The longer you hesitate, the more you risk losing touch with the very fire that drives you. But the moment you decide to step forward, you align yourself with the flow of life, with the forces that are always guiding you toward your highest potential. Understand that it is not about being perfect. It is not about waiting until the moment is right. It is about stepping into your life with the courage to use what you have, to trust the process, and to keep moving forward no matter what obstacles arise. Each step you take is a step closer to who you are meant to be. Each effort, no matter how small, is a part of the unfolding of your true potential. When you start using your talents, you not only transform your own life, you transform the lives of those around you. You inspire others to step into their own greatness. You create a ripple effect that spreads far beyond what you can see. Your journey becomes a beacon of possibility for others who are still afraid to begin. So stop quitting. Stop doubting yourself. Start trusting in your abilities and your talents with the full awareness that they are not just for you, but for the world. When you do this, you will find that the more you give, the more you receive. The more you trust yourself, the more the universe trusts you. And with every step you take, you will move closer to the life that is meant for you, the life that you have always dreamed of, the life that is waiting for you to claim it. As you stand at the threshold of your own potential, remember this: the greatest obstacle you will face is not the world outside, but the doubts and fears within. Your talents, your gifts, your unique purpose have always been there, waiting for you to claim them. The key to unlocking them lies in your willingness to show up not in perfection, but in presence. No more waiting for the right moment, no more hiding behind fear. The moment is now. The path is before you, and it is yours to walk. It does not matter how many times you stumble, how many times you fall. What matters is that you rise, that you keep going, that you keep trusting in the force within you that is greater than any obstacle. You are here to create, you are here to give, you are here to shine the light that only you possess. So rise above your doubts, rise above your fears, and step into the greatness that has always been within you. The world is waiting for your unique contribution, your light, your energy. The time to stop quitting and start using your talents is now. Go forward, rise above,